Hello everyone, my name is Val and I'm super happy to present to you this year's limited edition, or maybe not limited edition, but a Christmas palette, Oden's Eye, and this is Ice Crystal palette. This is absolutely beautiful design that I'm having in my hands with the ice crystal and all of the snowflakes and all of the stuff, and it's so pretty. And it's a big palette as well. We have 30 grams of product in 24 shades, if I calculated correctly. So we have this palette with, as you can see in the light, they shimmer and glimmer like nothing else. The shimmers in this palette will take about the half of it, pretty much, and we will see everything about texture, about work with the palette, about the combinations that you can create, and I will tell you everything that I experienced throughout this review and with the launch, and everything that I can possibly tell you about this whole new palette. So big thanks to Oden's Eye for sending this palette in the PR. This will not affect my opinion, so stay tuned till the very end to see what I think about the new launch of Ice Crystal. And we're starting with the first look. So today I'm starting the Oden's Eye Crystal Ice or Ice Crystal palette. This is a palette separated into two, like day and night or something like that. At least it does have some sun and moon at the cover. I don't know the idea behind this palette. It's very pastel-like to me. I'm not sure what it's supposed to give as a vibe in general, but these are the colors that I'm showing you, and I cannot tell anything so far that seemed to be like super interesting about this palette, and some cool ideas that I can make with it. So I don't have the actual inspiration because it's very random to me right now at this point, and I'm not sure how to proceed. That's the reality. Okay, let's anyway begin. I will try it with From the Winter Night. This is the gray from the right side. I'm just placing it with the synthetic brushes, and this is going to be the outline, like initial stage for my look. So it's not gonna stay gray, it's gonna be covered up, but I need something to darken the shades, and this is the way how I can do that, most likely. I have to be honest that first try I just removed from my skin, from my eyes, because I did not like how it's going and what I was going for. So we have to do it again, at least this time, maybe properly. Then I want to go to the Midnight Sapphire, to the bottom lid. So the blue will be by the lower lid and the purple by the top lid. The blue Midnight Sapphire going first. I'm applying it also to the gray, so they are kind of merged together, connected between each other a bit, so that my lower lid is kind of elongated to that side. Then I will go into the shade Frozen Lake. This is a lighter blue. Quite nice one. The blues are covering, the lighter blues covering the darker ones, which is also kind of nice because you can do the things nicely, but I don't see them blending to each other very nicely. And then I will go into the shade Glacial Mist. This is going to be my inner corner. It's just a bit of a mint shade and nothing too fancy about it. So that will be the lower lid. Now we go to the top lid from the shade Amethyst. It's going to be placed right on top of the gray. It covers up the gray so that you cannot see it, but it will keep this darkness underneath it because it's not completely like opaque. So Amethyst I'm gonna take up till the center of the lid, and I'm blending it slightly towards the brow with a blush quartz. This is the next lighter lilac, and this is gonna be also the second shade on the eyelid on top. So I'm gonna place it there and slightly blend between each other the amethyst and blush quartz. I'm not really seeing that it blends into each other like really in an awesome way, let's say. I'm not seeing that happening. I'm just gonna continue trying to mix them together. Maybe it's my base that prevents them from blending. I'm not sure, honestly. I'm just trying to make it work, and it's not really working that well in this case. Okay, then I'm gonna go into the white shade, the Snow Veil, and this is gonna be my final shade for the top lid. Now I think we can pretty much go into the shimmers. Shimmers are mostly, not all of them are, but mostly they are, how to say, flaky. The first one is going to be the Arctic Twilight. I'm applying it with a silicone brush. Silicone brush is not best for that because it's okay to apply, but you cannot blend with it. For that purpose, I'm going to take the big semi-flat brush and just try to kind of spread this shade all over the top. Yeah. Then next one going to be the Frozen Opal. Frozen Opal is the main lid shade, I would say. It's a bit more smooth and it looks like a nice option for the lid. It's duochroming. And I'm not seeing it immediately, but I know because I swatched it. The texture on the lid I don't like at all. This is very unfortunate, but this is the reality. It's giving me a bit of a crust by the feeling, and I'm not a fan of that. The Crystal Frost is going to be my next one on top of the white so that I can have it there. And by the bottom lid I will start with the shade Mint Frost, because it makes sense to apply the mint to a mint. I'm kind of going like that. And then the shade Aurora Shadow, for example, because I don't have anything really blue. There is only the shifting to blue. So yeah, that's the first one. And in the inner corner, because the shade is flaky, the ice crystal, it's giving me crust, and I don't enjoy that. So yeah, that will be the first one. I will do the gray wing, and I will come back to you with the finished result. So this is the first makeup, and I'm actually quite happy with the result. It looks good. It looks good to me. Everything looks fine. Everything looks kind of in the right place. This one may be a bit darker in the blending than this one, or maybe it's just my perceptions right now because it's a lot of light around me, and yeah, it's not that nice. I don't have any problems so far with going to creases or anything like that, so there are no actual like big problems currently, but I had problems with trying to blend the shades and trying to blend the sparkles. Sparkles that are, again, two textures we have. One is more smooth, like sand. So one is like a sand and one is more of a flake texture. It's not really good to apply with a brush or anything. It's just going to be applied normally with the finger, and that's all you can really do with it. I'm not the biggest fan. We touched quite a few shades in this palette. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Around 9 shades touched so far, which is not bad, but this is what I got so right now. It looks beautiful, but I was really having troubles with trying to blend it and trying to understand how to blend it. So I even took like a gradient on my palm. So these two are from Oden's Eye, and this one is from Cosmic Brushes Winter Wonderland. I tried to understand if I'm having a problem with my perception of things, if I'm not able to blend it normally, or is something wrong with the shades. And this one behaves differently for sure. So this one is kind of different. It's more of a pigment based, and I think in ingredient list we also have a lot of similarities actually. So they, as you can see, they are more or less blended, but they still have some edge between them that I'm not able to blend properly, and maybe that is the reason I don't really like both Cosmic Brushes and Oden's Eye, that it has this thing. When you apply the shade, you start like smoothing it out on the lid. The talc powder that is in this matte shades starts to behave a bit weirdly. It's like a flower going to the surface, and I'm not really a fan of that. I will try to demonstrate to you how the others are behaving, the ones that I like, and I also will try to see the differences between the ingredient list of these guys. So Ice Crystal on the packaging here has also a lot of shades listed, and most of them have talc as the first ingredient. And the same goes for Cosmic Brushes. It has quite a few shades listed here, and on the mattes, mostly the talc and mica are the first ingredients. So talc and stuff, it's like typical, I guess. And I'm not enjoying much how they are behaving. Both of these palettes actually are not that good. But Cosmic Brushes actually seem to be a bit better in these terms. These ones are just not blending in my hands. So I'm right now I'm having an existential crisis. Maybe I don't know how to do the makeup anymore, and maybe I'm just not good at blending at all, and I need to understand what is wrong, because currently I don't think there is so currently I think that I am the problem, not anything else. Maybe on my base, maybe something else, maybe yeah, I have to try differently. Next one we will try with just a concealer, because the amount of talc in this eyeshadow probably will not allow them to like crease more than it should. I hope so. Anyway, I'm feeling lost in this, and I'm just trying things out. But the makeup itself looks really nice. Like, it's a beautiful purple, it's beautiful blue, and the shades with the little sparkles, they're all looking really good. Just don't like how it works. I don't like it. So, what else do I have on my face? The same Kevyn Aucoin foundation, the same concealer that I usually use. I changed my under eye corrector. So I'm using right now this Bobbi Brown in the shade Light Bisque. It's a corrector for dark circles. It's slightly peach salmon kind of, but very, very light. And Reddit was going crazy about it. So I decided to give it a try. And so far I actually like it, but I don't think it differs that much from the stuff I've been doing with my under eye area. So I will test it out and see. I think the biggest difference it makes on the daily makeup rather than this full face kind of thing. Okay, then I have Sephora contour stick the same way. I have guava juice as my blush. It's very light. I did not add too much. This is a very pretty pink. It's like very guava-like, and like the insides of it, I guess. I never really tried the fruit itself. And why I took this shade is because of this central shimmer. It's called, let me find it, called Frozen Opal. And this is pink, blue, like very light, but very pretty, and it's one of the most pretty shades that I noticed on my eyelids. You do see the duochrome, but it's very subtle. It's not strong. This shade also is more sand than a flake. The two outside and inside are actually more flaky, and the central one is more sandy, sparkly. They are very sparkly indeed. They are looking good. I'm not sure if they will hold. That's what I usually don't do, to check, because a lot of things depend on your eyelids and on the base you're using, and etc, etc. There are too many conditions for that, so I'm just trying to judge by the look of it and by the work with it, majority of times at least. Okay, then I have a tie-dye highlighter by Colourpop. This is a Jubilant Chorus, one of the prettiest highlighters that I've touched, and I really, really like it. It's very smooth and pretty. And then I have Endless Cacao as my lip pencil, and Nocturna Collection MAC Lip Gloss Air in the shade Light Moth. This collection and this shade are really pretty, and I like the feeling of these glosses because they're non-sticky. That's why it's called Lip Gloss Air, that it does not give this a typical gloss stickiness. So it's really nice, and I'm enjoying it so far. And as my liner, I have a 78 Inglot, which is light gray, and I think it kind of matches the tone, matches the vibes, not too dark, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the makeup. I'm not enjoying the work to achieve this makeup. So that's so far it. I may return today still, very late at night, to see if I can do the second one on concealer to see the difference. Maybe there will be a difference in blending and all of that stuff. So yeah, so far that is what I think, the first impression. Okay, and I will see you soon. So, I decided to do some investigation, and I came back for the second look. My eyelids slightly hurting because I've been rubbing them. That's why I cannot do many makeup looks at a time. But I did the investigation of trying to blend the eyeshadow. I took the palette from the roots to understand the ingredients and if it's blending differently from Oden's eye. So you can see that I took yellow to red to create orange, and I took blue with white to create like a gradient of blue. And I did the same with the Oden's eye blues. They are not dark enough, they have a bit of a patchiness in them, but generally, yes, they behave very close to each other, just the colors are different, and that's why the overall situation is different. I don't have anything on my palm on the back of my hand. Anything in terms of the product, I mean, like there's no cream, there's nothing in there. It's just dry, freshly washed and bled dry hand. And it seemed to work fine, so probably I am the problem here, not the eyeshadow. And I needed to understand that in order to select what is going to be the base for this eyeshadow. And today I applied the Tarte Shape Tape because this is the concealer I'm usually using. It's allow itself to set, so it can be just toned lids and nothing else, so it's totally fine. And we will try to blend on that instead. I'm not sure what I'm doing, to be honest. But let's begin with the Winter Night. I'm gonna take it with a smaller brush and just apply it to the inner corner as a... I want this shape of a halo, but as a leaf. And this is what I'm going for. So the first one is Winter Night. I'm just blending it into the inner corner, making an arch, and then into the outer corner, making a V shape, following my eye socket. So I'm trying to keep it within the eye socket. Next shade will be the Cocoa Dust. This is a lighter gray, and here when I'm setting them and they are interacting with each other, it's much better already. So I am happy that I gave this another option, another try, another base, in order to understand if the eyeshadow themselves are not that good or I am the problem. And usually if something is wrong, it's the user error, it's not the eyeshadow error. Majority of them right now are made the same way, and you just need to find the way how to work with them, because the same stuff doesn't work for different types of eyeshadow. Okay, let's continue. I want to take the Frozen Lake into the inner side and to the under the brow, basically all over. So I'm just setting in there. I was thinking to add the Golden Icicle. Gosh, references of yellow ice is so horrible. I have no idea who told Oden's it's fine, but no, yellow ice is bad for you. You should not be referencing it. And I'm just taking that yellow ice, Golden Icicle, and placing it under the shape. I want to try to make a green later by applying blue on top of it, but I don't think we will make it. Into the center I will take the Snow Veil. It's gonna be my lightest color. It's not gonna do anything, it's just nice to see if the eyeshadow kind of working well with each other and like can be seen there. So don't forget also the lower lid for that. And then I will take the Glacial Mist, the light teal, to blend the blue out. So it's light enough and it's not that much of a pigment to actually affect the blue, but it will lighten it up and make it like just a bit lighter. Yeah, I'm not very good at explanation of things. And this will be my base. As I said, I applied blue onto the yellow after that, just to see if I can mix the green. It's not really working the way I want it, but it's okay. I could have used mint, but it's not the same as green, and I don't have green. But I need green for the shade Emerald Mist that I'm going to take. As you can see, it's a multi-chrome. It's peach to pink to green. Green also can go to blue. It's not gonna be happening on the eyes, but it's gonna happen in general, I would say. And this will be my main lid shade. So I'm applying it. It's very flaky, so I'm applying it with my finger, just placing it into the center and dragging outwards. And once I'm more or less okay with that, I'm taking a small flat brush, just dragging the corners out, because yeah, that's the way to go actually. There is not much that I can do with this shade, and it's just gonna be like a centerpiece, nothing too fancy. Then I think I will go into the shade Starfall Snow, for example. That's gonna be my lower lid. It's also slightly greenish, like it's green to pink something. I'm not exactly sure, but it's there, I can see it. And then I think I will go into the... I'm not sure which one to take. Maybe an Ice Shard. Ice Shard seemed like a solid selection here. So let's try to bring it onto the blue in this case. Okay, I want to make a wing. I may take brown actually, like a milky brown for this, but I'm not sure yet. And once I'm done with both eyes, I will come back to you with the finished face. So this is the look I ended up with. I actually switched the blue to an orange because when I move my eye, or my face, better to say, away from the light so that you cannot see the shimmering everything, the multichrome itself, the base of this multichrome is more like orangey toned. And that's why I applied both oranges that are here, the peach one and the orange one. First the peach, then the orange, and then slightly blended with white because that ended up better and more fitting than what I did with the blue. The blue is still relevant to use with purple, for example, or with gray, but not with this main shade. So that was just kind of a mistake on my side. It would not look bad, but it would not look this cohesive, I would say, I guess. So yeah, the only thing that I switched basically is the shade outside. So now it's peach rather than blue. This has to be sad because yeah, I started with something different and now I'm here with the warm look and with a very vibrant multichrome on the eyes, which is kind of cool. It's nice to see. It's something different. And also very happy to say that the quality is not worse. I did not like it first because I was using the wrong base. Wrong base gives us a horrible experience of blending some eyeshadow or applying some eyeshadow, and that's why the base is important. In this scenario, I used tart shape tape, like a one dot and the second dot, and then blend with a finger. I tried to leave as small of as thin of a line of a layer as possible, and I think it worked because it was blending much better than before. And yeah, I'm just much happier with the experience and like work in general with this, because that look is much more interesting to me, like from the perspective of working with eyeshadow. Previous one was a bit of a struggle. This one is kind of good. So I'm getting experience. I'm getting better with this. And the multichrome is very bright and very interesting, and I have seen such a shift already before, but still we have this one. It looks nice, it's decent, it's something that doesn't happen too often, but still it's there, even with application of a finger. Because it's a flaky shade, the flaky multichrome, you have to apply it with a finger most likely and then stretch out the edges with a brush. And if you have the eyes like mine, like partly hooded or hooded eyes, because when you're looking straight almost nothing on the moving lid can be seen, then I would recommend to try this kind of shape of applying the shimmer in the center and then only dragging what's left, because that way it doesn't really want to get into these zones which crease the most. I don't know how this works, because technically speaking all of the part of the lid basically goes hidden, but you have more creases in the inner areas than in the outer and center. That's for me. Maybe it is different for you. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me something about that. So other than that, the shimmer on the bottom lid looks really pretty. It's also greenish. It's like shifting green, so they match each other. But it also has like silver-ish sparkles, pink something, lilac something. So it's cool. Like in terms of the temperature, it's cool and would have looked better with something else, but because here I'm separating my top lid from the bottom with a liner, liner works as a wall basically between them, and that's why they still look okay and don't really mess with each other much. So if you want to use as many shades as possible, it's best to separate it into different parts of the eye. So lower lid can be one side kind of, and the upper lid can be the other. And this is what I will continue to do. And this is how I will continue to work with this eyeshadow on the base of concealer only. And it's not bad at all or anything, it's just a fact, I would say, and I'm happy with the outcome. What else do I have on my face? I wear the same Chemical One foundation, NARS concealer, other stuff that I'm usually using of concealer, the Sephora contour stick, also as usual, nothing changed in there. Then I used Painted Peony and Rose Ritual as my blush. Could have used an SM Myrix because it also has a Jubilee, which is really nice and kind of peachy. But I used these two and I find them really nice. One is more muted rose, one is more bright. Bright one is called the Rose Ritual and the muted one is Painted Peony. I'm really enjoying these blushes. They are not as... like, they are pigmented, but you can blend them like very easily. That's what I was trying to say, I guess. Then as my highlighter, I use MAC Double Gleam Skin Finish highlighter, just a bit of a gold because it's warm, it's golden. I see also the golden when I'm looking at myself in the mirror to the bottom. I don't know, I probably won't be able to show it, but like this, maybe you can see a bit of gold in there. And my liner today is a Shiglam Ash Canvas. It's slightly purple. This is almost perfect match to the gray in the palette. So if you are interested in matching things like that, so lips to eyes, this is gonna work. So Ash Canvas, slightly purple, gray shade. And on top of that, I applied the Quality Lip Gloss Air by MAC as well. I bought, as I said, two of these things. One is Light Moth from Nocturna, one is brown. I really like brown stuff for some reason. And yeah, this is the gloss. And that will be it. That is all I have for now. I did 2 looks in 1 day, and last time I did 2 looks in 2 days, like 4 looks in 2 days, 2 per day. I got a thinning of my eyelids and I got a rash, like infectious kind of thing, and it needed a week to clear out, so I'm not gonna repeat my mistake, and I will do only 1 tomorrow. Plus I need a bit of time for other things, and I still hope I can film something today for the products, but maybe not, I don't know. So far, I'm not sure. I just kind of want to sit and read. I'm just reading books lately, and one of my favorite series that I read this year came up with like the new book came out. It's The Empire of Vampires by J. Christoph. I don't know if you're interested in something that I read. It's a bit gory and it's very like vampires are actually monsters kind of stuff, and it's very interesting twist on religion as well, and maybe it's not for everybody, but I really enjoyed the author vision, like, and how he writes the characters. And the new book Empire of the Dawn came out like on 6 November, so I bought it. I'm gonna read it. But now I'm going through the Throne of Glass, and it's a Cinderella story, technically speaking. But not if she was just an orphan, rather than she's orphan and an assassin. Yeah, BookTok would have been proud of me, but I'm not really doing TikTok or BookTok or anything. And this is all because of my friend who recommended me some stuff before. That's about it for now. It was already too much to say, and I will go for today, and we will see each other tomorrow. So I am here again, and we are left with a bit of yellows and a bit of oranges, and I think the Obsidian Gleam is also the other one that I want to try separately because I don't feel it fitting into anything here. And today I want to do something like a sunset kind of makeup. So I will start with the Golden Icicle, placing it into the crease all up to the brow, so like it's filling up the area between the crease and the brow. Then I will get to the Sunset Ice. This will be the second color that is like darkening slightly the yellowness and doing this slight gradient that sometimes is really necessary, so I can have my outline basically. Then I will go into the shade Cocoa Dust. This will become my kind of darkest shade. It's not actually darkest, but it's like good enough. And I'm setting it the same way I was working with From the Roots, into the outer edge, into the outer V, basically trying to make it work there, and blending it in the same area, slightly into the crease, but not too much, like not too far away, but like just enough. And I'm using a very pencil-like brush for this, so that the edge of it can go into the thinner areas and just kind of cover it slightly, dragging the color. It's not blending as well as I would like it to, but it's still blending, which is the goal here, and I think I will be okay with that. Oof, then we are ready to go into the oranges. Peach Glow will be the first one from the outer edge into the center, and I'm trying to blend it on top of the gray. It's not covering the gray too much, but just enough so it gets darker. We will bring back the gray a bit later. Gray can be paired with any color, so in these terms this palette is really good because it allows the pairing of blue and gray or of yellow and gray, and etc, etc. And then I will go into the Ember Flame, which will cover the first third of the eye but not the inner corner. So the inner corner is still left out, that I can work with it. And I think I want to first go into the purple amethyst to the bottom lid. I feel like it's gonna be really nice in this and will break a bit of a orangey pattern. So I'm blending here and there. I'm using the just fluffy brushes for blending, and I'm trying to make it look a bit nicer, kind of. Then I will be back to the gray, the Cocoa Dust again, and I think I will also add a bit of the Winter Night just because I feel a need in the darkening, and this should give me that opportunity to darken things up. So that will conclude the mattes. I tried to make things work a bit better, but I feel like these are the shades which you just set into one place and they are there. They're staying there. And not like pigments. Something is different here. Something with the formula that I'm not a biggest fan of, and I'm just trying to work with it. But I'm not getting that pleasure of blending, I would say, like I had with From the Roots. And this actually affects my mood, so I'm becoming biased, and I don't really like it. I don't like to be biased towards anything. Well, like if it's a positive, yes, but if it's a negative bias, I am not really a fan of that. Anyway, we are ready to go into the shimmer shades. The Moonstone Gleam is going to be the main one today. This is a shade that is very, it's duochroming, but not the most prominent because it doesn't have a base. So it will be just the main lid shade, very nice golden sparkles in here. So I'm setting it with a finger because it's the best way. It's more of a sandy texture in this case, so it's not going to be very problematic, but yeah, it's a bit harder to blend in such a scenario. I'm setting it onto the orange, but not going onto the gray. Then I go to the shade Moonlight, one of the most pretty sparkles in pink and lilac, and I place it onto the lower lid because when you mix it with amethyst, it becomes a very pretty pink. I'm really liking it. It's really nice. I forgot to tell that I added the Snow Veil into the inner corner, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna cover it with the Prism Shine yellow shade, and the Prism Shine is gonna be the inner corner highlight that I will drag up to the brow bone and by it. I'm not sure if I already used it. It's slightly bluish in shift, but yeah, I think it's making sense because I'm placing it onto the yellow, and that way it's kind of made for it. I think at this point I only need to add a liner to here. Not sure which liner I will add because I tend for the gray this whole thing. I like the gray with these looks, but maybe I will go for the black, but most likely for the gray. Anyway, I will make another eye and come back to you with a finished face. So this is the result. I'm pretty happy with everything and how it looks and how blended it is. I still don't like the work of the eyeshadow, but I'm totally fine with the results that they provide. So it's kind of a personal preference rather than something that is really like problematic. It's a preference in the base as well, because just on the concealer, so I'm wiping the lid with a makeup wipe or like a wet wipe. I'm letting it dry and then I apply concealer, like a very thin layer of concealer. Then they work better. If any base is under, I kind of don't like how they start to work. It's still manageable, but it's not as good, I guess. So I'm really confused about the whole situation, and it's been almost half a year since I touched Oden's eye last time. I'm stretching the looks that I create. Like last time it was like 8 looks because it was a huge video for 4 palettes, and I did a lot, and I've been stretching these looks up till September or something, because yeah, there were lots of them and I could like post more. And this time I'm not gonna do that. We are left with only one, which I will do tomorrow most likely. For today I already don't have any energy left, but yeah, it looks fine. It looks even good. It doesn't want to really crease or do anything. These shimmers that are more like a sand, they are behaving better than the flakes. So the flaky formula is definitely not the thing for me, and it's just not something that I enjoy working with. This shade on the bottom eyelid is really pretty. I found 2 sparkles in this palette that I would reach for because they're so freaking pretty. One of them being the opal, the frozen opal, and the other one is moonlight, because they are just amazing, honestly. So, but that's about it, I guess. We only have one that is called Obsidian Gleam that is left. This one is the one untouched so far. All others we have already touched in one way or another. So there is no actual logic in this palette, which I will tell you about tomorrow in another look. But yeah, we have only one left, and I will touch it yeah, outside of the video, like a big video, and will allow me a bit of a time to process things better. But yeah, I'm happy with the look overall. I think it looks good, and I think the combination itself is really nice as well. The yellow and orange and a bit of gray. The idea with gray probably that it can darken anything and it can work with anything because it's achromatic, and it just works, you know. It kind of does. So what else do I have in my face? Kevyn Aucoin foundation, the Sephora contour stick the same way. Then I have a Jubilee, which I was talking about yesterday. It's slightly peach, it's such a pretty color. This one and Rosé and Branch, probably my 2 favorites right now from the Nessa Myricks. And as I said, this is the Nessa Myricks. I want to touch Latte or something like that. I'm not sure how it's going to be, but I kind of want more of this. As my highlighter today, I have Fenty in Pink Ice. So it's a Diamond Bomb highlighter. I absolutely despise the packaging. It's very weird to me. I don't like it at all. But the color is nice. The color is really pretty as well. So this one reminds me of the Moonlight. That's why I decided to use it, because like lower lid to the cheekbone kind of feels right. In my waterline, I actually have Moira Cosmetics Ultra. This is also something that looks like frozen opal, but in the pencil form. It's also a bit like a glittering rather than smooth. It does not actually have a glitter, but it kind of looks more like sparkles rather than smooth surface, you know? So I'm still enjoying this one, and yeah, it's a perfect match if you want to have something like a frozen opal from this palette on your eyes. And on my lips today I have a Cool BFF by Colourpop together with a Hydra Honey by NYX. So this gives me like a neutral something, and it looks good to me. And that's all I have. I also wanted to say that I forgot that the bleached hair needs a deposit of color, and this is why I've been looking really messy for the past couple videos, I would say. But I mixed 2 shades of the Vela mask, that is color deposit mask. I mixed the golden beige with lilac. It neutralized each other, and I'm left with this like a beige color, beige blonde. It's giving the roots a bit of a like a gradient to grow into, instead of being the very strong contrast with the white of the hair, and I think it looks like better, generally speaking. So that's all I have for now. I also kind of touched one of the palettes that I bought recently, and it's this one, Magnetic Mineralia. I only touched it, I swatched it, and I'm really excited to add another brand into my collection in these times, because I'm trying to get rid of some brands that I will not buy anymore. Like, for example, I did not get anything really exciting in Blend Bunny lately. Yeah, Rotten palette is nice, but it's full matte palette. I don't really use that, and I don't find it really interesting to watch. It's more like a show your skills or creativity kind of stuff rather than reviewing things. it's nice, but I don't really have time for that. So it's either a review for me or a short something where I can show my creativity. So Blend Bunny most likely will go away. Also Unearthly Cosmetics. I have 2 palettes from them, Just a Taste and Gargoyle. Something like that. I'm not sure if I will continue buying anything else. So far I have 2 and I don't plan more because they are not really attractive to me at this point. I'm not sure why. I don't know, just not my brand probably. But instead the Day Day Signature, I bought 2 more from them, the Broken Jewel one and the Fearless Holiday. And I add the Diveroon as well. So exchange kind of. So I'm gonna focus on these rather than those, if it makes any sense. Anyway, done for today, and we will see each other tomorrow in final thoughts. So this is the last look I've created with the palette. It has a bit of a Ice Princess kind of vibe. I connected the white shimmering shade. It's actually not having any base, and it's just this nice shimmer with a couple of blues with a bit of gray, and I also have a sparkling gray on the bottom lid that actually kind of is slightly purple as well, and the shimmering dark gray as well. So this look combines a lot of different things and black wing, and I think it kind of looks really good. Like, it's very pretty and I find it quite interesting in general. However, I have some things to say about everything, about the palette and about what I think about it. Yeah, I have things to say. So let's start from the beginning. The shipping of the palette and the presentation to bloggers and like influencers started on 5th October approximately, and they invited me to try this palette, and later by the 20th dates I received it together with a small present. So this is a tote bag. So this is a shopper, a tote bag, and for some reason it gives me a summer sorbet vibe rather than a winter. I'm not quite sure where exactly it was supposed to go, but this is a little shopper, the canvas bag basically. It's looking fun, but I do not associate these colors with winter usually. But we have snowflakes and we have the palette design here as well. It's a nice thing, just a bit weird to me by the color schema. However, we have the same colors slightly in the palette as well. This is the outer sleeve. It's very tightly actually sitting on the palette. It's soft touch and with embossing, so this is like dimensional, and it's very pretty design. I was so happy to see the design because this is one of the pretty palettes that they created. So the past couple launches that we have with the Elfa and with the ice crystal, I love the design of the palette. And this soft touch is also really nice to touch, kind of, because yeah, it's something also not often used. And this is basically the outer packaging for it. It also says the net weight is 30 grams, made in China, it's cruelty-free and 30 months, that is from the opening. It has a list of ingredients on the back and all of this ice crystal vibe with all of this sparkling purples and blues and holographic kind of things with a silver. I'm genuinely enjoying the packaging. The palette itself also comes in the same soft touch with embossing, so it's very nice and pretty to touch, with the edge also having this Oden's eye saying, like usual, I think, with this whole design, with this little snowman and with all of the ice crystals and snowflakes. We also have the moon and the sun. Not quite sure what they are supposed to mean here, but it might be related to the palette insides. Let me just open it. So the palette insides that we have is 24 shades, if I calculate correctly. 12 on one side and 12 on the other. And I thought that the day and night are connected to the representation of shades in this palette as well, because we have a lighter shades and we have a darker shades kind of the same colors. So you have the light yellow and you have darker yellow. You have, yeah, oranges here on the warm side, so to say, and you have also the purples in here, so it's a bit more random than actually having any logic to it. Let me turn it around so it's easier to hold. We have the mirror that is like a snowflake or a star in here as well. And you can see on the light the shimmers actually really bright and shiny, and they are in fact in real life they have a lot of sparkles, and they have a lot of shimmering properties to them. So the shimmers in this palette I really liked by the colors, by the effect they give. I am truly enjoying these two. These two create like lilac and pink, such a pretty lilac and pink. And if you place one onto the blue or purple and one onto the other shade, or also blue or purple, they create a wonderful effect. However, there are also some shades that do not look the same way as they are in the pan. I would say that in the pan they look darker than they are applying onto the lid. And we have the same two textures as usual. They did not change anything with the textures. And we have the sandy kind of texture that is more sparse, and we have the flakes. So the flakes are still here, they're still available. For example, this shade is a multi-chrome. It's a very interesting one. It's very bright and it's flaky. So flaky shades are okay to apply with a finger because you only can properly like distribute it with a finger. It needs something like a finger to be applied on. So it's not the most comfortable, but it's not the end of the world either. So personal preference, I would say it kind of is. So as I said, we have a warm tones and we have cool tones. I created 2 warm looks and 2 cool looks. And as far as I understood this palette, it either goes by the color themselves or you can combine anything with the gray. So there is no specific logic that comes to this palette, but you can take any shade with the gray and it will look good. There are 2 grays. One is more gray, the one is more brown gray. I'm not sure how to describe this shade properly. It's also on me today. It's more like a brown gray, maybe grayish, something in that direction. And it allows to have the like a neutral darkening or neutral base for something, and then you have any other color as an accent or something like that. You also have a white, which is nice, so it makes it somewhat self-sufficient. So we have achromatic colors and neutral in black, not black, in gray and white, so you can lighten up and darken up some of the looks. And then you have accents. All of them are basically accents. I would say it's more of a blue, purple and orange, a yellow palette rather than a rainbow. I tried to mix the shade between themselves, like yellow with blue, to create green. It doesn't work that nicely. And generally this is the first time when in Oden's Eye palette I liked the shimmers more than the mattes. The mattes, I feel like the formula has changed, and even though it has pretty much the same ingredient list as any other palette with a talc on the first place, I feel like this one has something in it that makes it different. When you apply the shade, so you take it with a brush and you apply it to some area and you start blending it out. It kind of creates the first layer. Sometimes it's not really good looking layer, so it can be like it can just get pigments stuck in some place and you cannot move it anywhere. But it's eyeshadow. It should be eyeshadow. It should not be pigments, really. So I'm a bit confused. And I did not like the way that mattes work in this palette. It also may be connected to my base. The 2 looks I did on concealer were generally better than the others that I did on the Urban Decay base. So with the Urban Decay is not a sticky base. It's supposed to allow to actually blend on top of it, but something went wrong with that. And the first look I removed completely because I did not like what I was doing, and I did not like how they interact with each other, the shades themselves. Because I tried to blend them between and they do not actually want to blend. I kind of managed it here, but also because I put the shimmer on top. So the perfect gradient, something that sometimes you can achieve with some eyeshadow, I think is not really working here. And the most that I like about this whole palette is that it's a good design and it's nice shimmers. So the shimmers here by the colors The texture is pretty much the same as in previous ones. The sandy texture is okay for me in most of the cases. The shimmers here are a bit better to me than mattes. I'm not sure where it was supposed to go, like for the theme itself. In the email it was saying that it's well, one moment. So this palette is supposed to represent like a snow globe, the winter magic of snow globes into the palette to bring the touch of enchantment. So from the perspective of shimmers, they definitely did that. From the mattes, I'm a bit confused. I'm not a big fan of this particular formula. I feel like others were working better, or maybe I started to work differently after some time and it's just not matching my preference anymore. As you can see, let's have a look on all of the makeups I created with this palette. As you can see by the makeup looks themselves, there is nothing wrong with the shades. It's just the work with them is a bit more tricky and difficult than I wanted it to be, because I was expecting kind of the easy work with the Oden's mattes, and it's not my favorite formula of mattes and I'm not really digging the work with it. So to me it was like very controversial once again. I think it should be for should be sold from 15th November for $56.90 in dollars, plus you can get a 10% off with some code. So $6.90, around $50 for a palette of 24 shades. If you are a fan of blues and grays and purples and you like some warmth to it, like an accent of yellow to purple is really nice, orange to blue is also really nice as an accent. If you want something like that, it's good in these terms. I wouldn't have bought it myself. I'm not big fan of this big palettes because it's really a big palette and I'm not understanding the color story enough for it to get myself this instantly. I'm just a bit confused, and I'm confused by the quality in this scenario as well. We know the textures kind of, but also the mattes this time, I feel like they are different. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just my feeling, my personal preference of things, but I'm not really liking this. If you end up taking this, it's really up to you. If you are collecting things, if you are really enjoying the formula of Oden's, for example, then I don't think anybody will be able to tell you no. It's only your decision. For me, I would not say it's an instant yes, even though the work that was done with the palette is really pretty. But lack of the color story explanations basically is also something that I do not like. And yeah, as I said, I did not really like the work of the mattes. These are my thoughts. This is something that I'm freely telling you, and I would not go for it because to me it's a bit not what I expected, kind of, and the color story is not interesting enough. If that was singles, so there are a couple shades from this palette that can be singles, or should have been singles or something like that, they are really cool. I really like the Moonlight, I like the Frozen Opal, I like the Crystal Frost, I like the Moonstone Gleam. These shades are interesting, they are really kind of unique. They make the other shades beautiful, and that's what I really liked about the palette. But there are too many no's to some of the yes. So I would say that the amount of no's is just getting higher to me, and that affects my decision. If you end up taking this palette and you get it and you work with it and you say, oh wow, it's a wonderful, I will be really happy for you, because makeup is subjective. There is nothing that is like one size fits all. There's no such things like that. And yeah, something that is not for me maybe will be something good for you. It's really your decision. But I was pretty much just happy to tell you what I think, to show you what the palette can do, what the colors are, and maybe how to interact with it a bit. On which base. In this case, I would recommend a concealer rather than some other base. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did enjoy creating it. Please subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, leave a nice comment, or maybe not so nice comment, I don't know what you think about. And I will see you in the next video really soon. Bye!